Hey Dreamers, and welcome to Dreamers Unite. I am here at Teaneck High School covering the Teaneck International Film Festival, which is all about activism and making social change through film. First Day Back was screened for the students here at Teaneck High School. It's a film about gun violence. It's poignant, it's powerful, it's impactful. So I had an opportunity to do some wonderful interviews with Miss Sheryl Lee Ralph herself, who is one of the executive producers of First Day Back. I also interviewed the principal here at Teaneck High School, and I interviewed Etienne Maurice, who is Sheryl Lee Ralph's son and one of the main principal actors of First Day Back. Oh my goodness, it's such an honor to be with Sheryl Lee Ralph. Yes, actress extraordinaire, a Broadway superstar, film star, television star. I'm in awe. Let's just start right there with First Day Back.
You know, First Day Back was important for me to support. You know, I use my foundation, the DIVA Foundation, Divinely Inspired, Victoriously Aware, to raise awareness. It started around HIV and AIDS, and now we've grown to cover the umbrella of other life-threatening diseases. Included in that is gun violence. So when my husband was working with DeShawn and Sade, and my son was cast in the film, I said, this is something to get behind. And so that's how I got involved.
You woke them all up in here with the fact that you said some of you will not make the best choices and you may not be here. That was a poignant moment.
You know, I went to a school very much like this, and when I was in this year, you know, 10th, 11th grade, you know, there was your whole class. By the time we were going to graduate, some of them were not there because they made some bad decisions, bad choices, and they're gone. So if I know not everybody's going to make it, but I'd like more to make it than not.
Yes. And I think with the work that you're doing, that you are out here hands-on touching lives. I know this has to be a proud moment for you too. So tell me about how this all came together.
The superintendent and Jeremy planned for us to host a viewing of a short. And the superintendent said, I have somewhere to be, handle this meeting. And we made it happen. It was wonderful working with Jeremy and Tiff and all the people involved. They made it easy.
Yes.
It wasn't high demand. It was just make sure you get the kids in and we'll do everything else. And I think they were wonderful and I was glad we could partner. I'm most proud of our students, the questions they asked, how attentive they were, how thoughtful they were in having compassion for what would be actors on a screen, but relating that to themselves and their peers.
You're so young to be the director of this film. I'm so impressed. So tell me how you got involved with the film.
Well, my producing partner and co-writer, Sade Onyade, and I, we, you know, after Parkland had happened, you know, just like everyone else, we were kind of up in an uprage, and we were hearing, you know, all of the news coverage, but then after a few weeks, the news coverage was gone. And so we kind of thought about like, wow, like I wonder how, you know, how they're feeling, how they're doing. And so we knew that we wanted to do something. We wanted to use our art form to just kind of, you know, do a talking piece. Like I'm a true believer, like Nina Simone, that it's the artist's responsibility to reflect the times that we live in. So we really wanted to, you know, use our platform to do something. And so we just wanted to tackle this issue, but we wanted to take it from, you know, the first day back. Like what happens when now you have to go back to school, you have to, you know, deal with, you know, the issue at hand, you know, what happened, and we didn't want to take sides, so we chose to, you know, tackle it from, you know, the side from the student and as well as the administrator, just to kind of show what, you know, what they both were feeling, because they had both, you know, been through the same thing. Trauma is trauma.
And you said one of the challenging things, did you do this in 3 days?
Yes. So one of the challenging things was, you know, well, as a filmmaker, as an independent filmmaker, you don't have a lot of funds. And so we had...
I know that one.
We had enough funds to make it 3 days. That was it. It was like, this is all she wrote. So the last day, it reached our time. It was 8 o'clock, and we were supposed to be out, but we had not filmed the last scene, which was the actual shooting scene. Yeah. And so we had to film it in 44 minutes. We really just had to pull off like a miracle, and so we were just so grateful. Like at the end, what we captured, and then we had to go straight into post.
Your son actually was a survivor, correct, of gun violence. Yes. So talk a little bit about that, and how was that as a mother to actually hear that your son had been shot on a university campus?
It was awful. It was just awful. They asked the question, what was one of the difficulties in making the film, is that I relive part of it all the time, and I'll never forget where I was. I'll never forget how I felt. I would never forget who I was with. I'll never forget the sound of my daughter's voice. And I remember that it was like all of a sudden the world just sort of tilted. And it was like I was about ready to fall off. And there we went to the hospital, and it was like, it was one thing, that he was shot. It was another thing that it didn't seem like the hospital took proper care. The next thing was how they left him out on the street. And the third thing, he took a cab to his friends because he didn't want to tell me because he thought I was going to kill him, and he was right. Trayvon Martin's mother is my soror, and one day we were sitting down, and I told her what had happened to Etienne. And she looked at me and she said, I wish I still had my son with me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Know. What?
She said, I wish I still had my son with me. And I was like, wow. So I look at my son and I know what a miracle is. And he says something all the time. He always says, I've taken my tragedy and turned it into a triumph. Yes. So I get there to look at him and see him living his life, and I'm just like, wow, God is so good. God has been good to me.
Yes, God is good. And you know what? I loved hearing him say, turn your tragedy into a triumph. So turn your tragedy into triumph. And certainly Trayvon Martin's mother has done the same thing. So
running for office, trying to make a change in her community, truly getting hands-on and involved. So I'm like, go Soror Sabrina, yes.
So I was just sitting here hanging with your mom because I feel like that's where we're right on the edge of the stage. Front and center. So we talked a little bit about the film, and this is Etienne Maurice. Say happy birthday to him because today is his birthday, and we're grateful that you are here with us, because talk a little bit about the experience that you had with gun violence.
6 years ago, November 9, 2013, I was robbed and shot from my iPhone and my wallet. It was a random shooting in West Philadelphia after having a night out with my friends. I woke up in the hospital and they told me that I had been shot. The crazy thing about it is I don't remember it happening.
I'm glad you don't rember, really. I bet your mom is too.
Oh yeah, I think so too. It's like I said earlier, I think it's a blessing and a curse, because I can't imagine what it would be like to have to think of seeing the man that shot me, or father and son that shot me, for that matter, every day replaying in my head. But I do replay the pain that I had to live with, every day.
And so how are you dealing with that pain? I mean, I know the first day back is probably one really wonderful, a good way for you to heal and help other students and people.
That's exactly right. I mean, the fact that, I was able to translate my trauma and turn it into art and turn it into triumph, I think is a beautiful thing. And I feel like it's a great way to utilize my outlet. And to be able to show those feelings on the screen is a very healing thing indeed.
And I want to say that the kids actually were like, whoa, 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 ha, ha, whoa, They were shouting when they called your name. They were shouting. You did a phenomenal job in this movie.
Thank you.
So you're an actor, clearly.
Yes. Actor, producer, director. Yeah.
And I hear there's a new project that you have on the horizon.
Yes.
You want to talk about
Yes.
it?
I can't
Here
talk
on Dreamers Unite
I can't
first,
talk
I
about
want to
it
say.
yet. I can't talk about
Here
it
on Dreamers
yet.
Unite first.
I'm literally about to work on the development project right now as soon as I leave this interview because I have to get on the phone with the producers.
That's what she said. So can you tell us what it's about?
It's about me and a best friend of mine who is also the son of a very, very famous woman, and us trying to finesse our way through Hollywood. Yeah, it's called.
I love it.
It's called Mama's Boys.
Mama's Boys. You heard it first here on Dreamers Unite. What do you hope to gain from this film? And this is the first screening here at Teaneck High School for students in a school district.
We hope to do more school districts across this country. I do a lot of speaking, and I always say if I reach one person, then I've reached many. If one student is able to grasp what it is I'm saying to them, I have done an amazing thing. So we were able to reach quite a few more than that, and to see their faces and to listen to their questions. I was talk about woke, baby. I was all right. They are wide awake. So that was very, I just felt so good.
What do you hope that this film will do in the Teaneck community and beyond?
The Teaneck community and beyond, I think the film helps adults realize that students are living this, and students are children. And it was sad when Etienne asked how many of you have been affected by some sort of gun violence, and so many students, children, raised their hands. And what we don't want to do is desensitize them to the violence going on, but we have to help them through that trauma, understanding that when there is a school shooting, when there is violence in a school, it's not just the students of that school that are affected, but there's a principal in California. Yes. And I would not want to be him. And I don't want to imagine what it's like to be him, because he has students that he's lost and students that are scared. And my number one goal is to get everyone's child home to them safe. Yes. We can educate them if they're safe. So safety has to be a priority. After that, educating them becomes easy because children want to learn.
Yes, they do. I think that's important to say that children do want to learn, number one, and we can educate them when they're safe.
I think I really want to, and with Nahali as well, implement a safe place here where we can have these conversations and do something about it. Like DeShawn said, it's the time to be woke. It's the time to make a change, and we would like to come up with plans, speak with local congressmen, go to the Board of Ed, have these conversations for safety, mental health, and gun violence, because they all coincide, and I think that's very important to do right now. So what we're focusing on is making sure that first as a community and then the world.
I helped create this club in our school called Sister to Sister, which it's a safe space for women of color and their allies, and we all just come together and you speak your piece. Everybody needs an outlet. You need a safe space. You need a place where you can talk. And if you don't have that, that's when you start to resort to violence, because you really just want to be heard.
Did you see yourself always as a filmmaker? Was this your dream? Are you living your dream?
I am living my dream now. So my mother had me when she was incarcerated. So I was born in prison, in the prison system, and I grew up in the foster care system. So, living in that type of situation, you don't always, it doesn't feel like it's obtainable. It doesn't feel like it's real. There weren't a lot of people that I knew that was actually doing it. And so for me, it was a faith walk. It was a journey. It was mentors who were pouring into me. It was these programs that were in schools that, a lot of schools have funding cuts, so they don't have these programs. But, I was grateful to have the after school programs, to have, mentors pouring into me and telling me that I can do anything that I put my mind to, even though when I went home, I went to a foster home, So it was It was those types of things. So I do feel like I'm living my dream. And, moving to LA was culture shock for me, coming from Kalamazoo, Michigan. But I honestly do believe that anything that you want to do and you set your mind to it, you truly can. It doesn't matter where you come from, who your parents are, what your economic situation is. This right here was like my directorial debut in a sense. So I was excited about that.
Here on Dreamers Unite. I'm interested about your journey as did you want to be a principal? Was this the direction that you thought your life would take? And what is your passion that you might want to, what's your big dream you might want to share with us here on Dreamers Unite?
Wow.
That's a loaded
Yes.
one.
No, I did not want to be a principal. I wanted to do something in the field of athletics.
Yeah. Okay.
I wanted to coach or be an agent or anything other than what I'm doing now. And there are educators in my family, my aunt and uncles. So a friend's mother said, hey, you need a job when I graduated college. I'll take you. You can become a teacher. You can coach. And I did that. And then I became a father, which is what I'm most proud about. I think the title that I enjoy the most is daddy.
That's beautiful.
And as a teacher, I wasn't making enough money to be able to support my children in what I wanted them to be able to do.
Yes.
So go back to school, become an administrator, and now that I'm on this path, I'm going, wow, I can help other people achieve their dreams. My work dream, my professional dream now would be to lead Teaneck High School into being a place where the seeds are planted for all the students that walk through the doors to be able to achieve their dreams. Yeah. That really inspires me to get out the bed in the morning.
I have hope. People
Yes.
ask me all the time in this climate, in this country, do I have hope?
Yes.
I have hope. Yes, I do.
Is this the dream that you knew that you wanted to live?
Of course. I was telling some of the kids earlier today when they asked me, like, did I always know I wanted to be an actor? And I was like, yeah, I did, because I remember being young, like being 5, 6 years old. My mom was on Moesha and like faking sick just so I could be on set with her. You know, like my mom is a big influence in my life as to what I wanted to do.
A mom, a big influence.
Yes,
You hear that,
yes,
my
yes,
children? So what is one little nugget that you can throw to our viewers when they have the biggest challenge in their life and they think they can't make it?
My grandmother always would tell me in her Jamaican patois accent, she'd always say, what I for you can't be un for you. What is for you is gonna be for you. You know, and never deteriorate, never go away from your dream. Always believe in your dream and know that if things don't happen the way you thought they were supposed to happen, don't worry, because they were supposed to happen just the way they were supposed to happen, and live in that.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
Live in that. So we are going to live in you doing what you're doing, the shining star that you are, and you have this really great role model in your mom, and I really do appreciate you taking time to be here today.
And I appreciate you
and good
being
luck.
here watching.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to spread the word
Yes,
as
please.
much as I can, and any support that we can give.
Love it.
And then I want you to come back on Dreamers Unite
Yes.
and come back and talk about Mama's Boys.
Yes, I will.
You promise?
I will. I promise.
Okay, it's right here on
I promise.
Dreamers
Right here
Unite.
on
That's right.
Dreamers
There's the
Unite.
pinky promise.
Pinky
Okay, there we
you go.
go.
Got kisses.
Yes.
Mwah, there you go.
Oh, look at that.
So nice to meet you.
Thank you so much for your time, and good luck.
I appreciate
Really.
that.
Anything, you say it?
Anything that you want to do, you can do. Just put one foot in front of the other, take it one day at a time, and it will definitely happen, So
And you're a testament to that.
Thank you.
Anything you want to do, dreamers, you can do.
You truly